Welcome back. There's the mic also. Awesome. One of our two next speakers is the head of technology and sustainability at the Nordic Office of Architecture in Oslo. He has a vast experience with advanced 3D and VR in design, decision-making, quality control, and communications in large construction and urban development projects in Norway and internationally. He is an architect and a professor at the Norwegian University of Science and Technology. He will be accompanied by an architect and leader of the Nordic Offices of Architecture's design technology team. She has a passion for digitalized cross-discipline workflows for collaboration and for the integration of digital tools in all phases to improve circularity. She's a firm believer in using digital design tools to enable project teams rather than altering design workflows in order to fit with technology. Please give a warm welcome to Knut Ramstad and Bridget White.
Hello, thank you for inviting us, Symmetry. We're going to present, kind of build up on previous speakers, and we're going to focus on how we work today and what we should change. But why should we change? Just to put it into your comments. We all know the challenges of the AEC industry. And this is the backdrop for everything we do, I guess. We have three main challenges. One is the negative productivity growth, which is serious business. Fragmented value change, and low maturity in digitalization and innovation. Look at these numbers. Those are grim. We need to have changes. And obviously, we score relatively low on customer satisfaction, and we struggle with recruiting talent. Do you agree? And obviously, we have a big sustainability problem. And if we're going to go deep into the figures, all the grim figures from the Norwegian industry, and these are new numbers, we account for a total of 15%, and we demolish 2,000 buildings every year. 3.2 million tons of waste per year. This is far, far too much. 20% is from new construction. Think about that. And only 50% is recycled. And this is the 26% of the total amount of waste in Norway. And for every new modern industrialized building, 40 to 50 kilos of waste is generated. We have 6,000 new leisure homes every year, and we don't have a clue on the biodiversity loss. This is not Putin. This is the Norwegian building industry. Okay? This is Kvitfjell last year. We can't continue to work like this. And I want you to think about how can technology change this. And obviously, the role of technology in an architecture firm is to support design, because that's our core business. And I would like to show you a little bit of what we're actually doing and some facts about Nordic, because you probably don't know us too well, because we have grown a lot since last year. We have 5 office locations around Scandinavia, and we're doing work all over the world, especially in infrastructure and health. And we have a mission to build a more sustainable society through exceptional architecture that transforms, inspires, and enhances the world we live in. And we have these sectors. So we're actually trying to encompass the entire field of design. And in all scales. This is urban planning in regards to the new government quarter and down to the smaller wooden buildings in the mountains. And if we're going to go through a little bit of the selected projects we're proud of, obviously the new government quarter, which is our biggest project right now, and Oslo Airport extension, which you probably know. And when you see these images, you can see that they all bear traces of use of technology in the design phase. New Istanbul Airport, SUS, Stavanger Hospital, LOL at Gardermoen. And you will see projects like these industrial projects, Motec building, and the big hospitals in Trondheim, St. Olavs Hospital, which we're still working on. So you see the big variety of the work in infrastructure, Bergen Airport with all the nice features. Okay, so how do we approach the use of technology in design? Because design is our core business. Obviously, we need a digital strategy. We have a term called Nordic Tech, and that's our main ambition is to be one of the leaders in the use of technology in the AEC industry, to improve both the process and the product. And this, we do believe, will lead to better architectural and technical quality and improve the performance throughout the project's lifetime. We invest in a technology group, and it's organized into 3 main areas of expertise: BIM, VIS, and SIM. And those teams are supporting all the different projects we do have in design, decision-making, quality control, communication. And that is in the quest for creating outstanding architecture, like the T2 terminal at Oslo Airport, which we strongly believe would be one of our strongest projects. Okay, so how do we work? From early phase, we believe in design with knowledge. And the recent years, we have got access to intuitive and powerful tools that enable us to investigate the potential of a site. And we've been using SpaceMaker for a couple of years in order to really, really get deeply into the potential of the different sites. And the changes this has made, being able to study different design alternatives on the fly, is really powerful, because in the early phase, all the different important issues should be addressed. We have this SIM group supporting our design teams, and obviously they work with different kinds of advanced simulation as well, not only SpaceMaker, but like daylight studies, like glare studies on Keflavik, where we can have really, really powerful tools to go deep into the different design alternatives and evaluate them. We're using Climate Studio, Ladybug tools, and other specialized simulation tools. And this is one-click LCA, which has become a tool now for some of our projects, which is really important to get a grip of the embedded carbon footprint of a building. There's been a silent revolution out there, and the way these tools, these immersive real-time tools, are intertwined and linked to the BIM models, that's a big, big revolution. And we see how this improves collaboration, it improves the cross-discipline work, and obviously we know the building in and out. And having those tools as the standard tools for many of our architects are actually, you don't need special expertise to do this. So we've been able to produce a lot of visuals. We've been able to produce content that we can use in the communication with the municipalities, like here at Lørenskog. And we will see the enormous power of having updated models. These are not artist's impression. These are what's on the table for the design team. So we strongly believe in that capability for all the design teams. And the revolution in computational power, the evolution of GPU, CPU, and cloud-based 3D rendering is enormous. This is real-time Corona rendering, and I'm actually building this image now. So you can actually sit together with the client and work with the lighting concept, work with the model, which is, in fact, quite a revolution. And we see that the quality of the architecture is improving because we know the building so well, and we have the complete availability to all the different aspects. We are working with immersive VR in quality control. This is the new government quarter, the art integration in the A block. And by using this in the collaboration, cross-discipline collaboration, everyone, regardless of the background, have a sense of scale, dimensions, sightlines, architectural quality, orientation, spatial relationship, and they see this in a quality not seen before. We also do a lot of development of tools. We're trying to work smarter in every new project. We define new ways of working. We have been collaborating with different developers like Spacemaker and Parallelo, among others. And we also have a very strong relationship to our parent company developers from Norconsult. So how do we invite our clients and users into this? We are experimenting with AR now in an infill project in Møllergata. We strongly believe in that technology. We also strongly believe in the way we can invite users and different stakeholders. This is Stavanger Universitetssykehus with a VR cave. And we see that these tools enables us to facilitate the user process in a much, much better way because everyone sees the exact same thing and everyone are being included. We also experiment now with having kids into the discussions so that we can communicate to allow for feedback from user groups that are normally not heard. And obviously we're doing animations and old school animations to describe the quality, the architectural quality of the project. This is a new government quarter. And we're doing everything in-house, especially in projects like this. So these are actually depicting the project as is. So, Bridget, now we're going to go deeper into how we can work and how we should work, and dream a little.
Thanks, Knut. So we've heard a little bit about the industry problems and how Nordic and its digital strategy is trying to tackle some of these. But we're happy to admit and be honest that we're not yet where we want to be, and we're not working in the way that we believe that we should. So today we wanted to dream just a little about, how should we be working in our firm? So what if, in our workflows, we knew more about our existing conditions? So I'm talking about the connection of external data into our digitalized existing conditions and our native design environments. Here, we can understand the wider context with data that's already being produced, data such as amenities, educational facilities and transportation, green spaces, demographics, or the availability of reuse elements in demolition projects or rehabilitation projects. And this is all in our native design environment, putting the tools in the architect's hands. So some really nice advances in technology or initiatives here include the Border Comuna with their digital twin, a visualization of data in a twin environment. Nordic Insight, who are collecting and visualizing a lot of really nice data. Material Mapper, and also harvesting information from Google Maps. If we could customize this information for our own projects, this would benefit us in understanding sort of where we are in a wider situation. And what if we could have contextual presentation illustrations produced simultaneously? There would be a closer tie between production and visualization, whereas here is completely disjointed. So what if we had a better baseline of existing performance analysis? So the same as Knut has shown, but in every project. We need an easy interface, visual feedback, such as SpaceMaker for simulations. This could give us a better chance to make performance-related design decisions in early phases. We're more likely to retain and improve more of the existing and improve the rest. So we know the performance of what is there. Commonly, these projects are demolished without analysis. What if in our early phase workflows, we had the accurate digitalization of the existing conditions? This sounds really trivial. Point cloud technology is not new, but it's still not being done in many of our projects because we come in too late to influence either the development or the purchasing of the point cloud. What if we could have a scanned data bank which made it easier for us to harvest this information rather than having to order new point clouds all the time? And not only having the point cloud, but actually analyzing it so that we know the existing conditions. Let technology tell us about the data. Even better, let's let AI automate the creation of existing geometry. These tasks are taking us away from our design work, and some really nice advancements here are with Nevis and Viscan in the automation of geometry from point cloud. I'm really happy to have an expert in my team because this technology is new for us, but it's so essential that we understand what we're getting. The mandatory mapping of elements for reuse is coming, but what if we digitalized it much earlier on in both rehabilitation and demolition projects? And it could be data or data and geometry. Here, we could either feed that back into a system by donating it or absorbing it in our own projects. Then we could make design decisions based on the availability of resources. We're happy to be working with Materia and Twin Solutions, some really nice advancements in technology here. So we're really excited. What if we knew more about our designs themselves? So in my dream, we have technology that automates monotonous and repetitive tasks, and we have more time to understand and optimize our own designs earlier. We've got the clients on board that evaluate more than just cost and program. And here, with a connection of data such as EPDs, material passports, price, locality, reuse elements, or the use of algorithms to calculate waste, this would all be available in our native environment. So it would allow us to pull data from wherever we needed and optimize or assess our designs in a way that we're not doing right now. When we talk to contractors, they tell us that they come in too late to influence the choice of materials or the amount of waste created from our configurations. But what if we brought them in earlier in a consultant-based role? They know a lot about waste, but we're not using any of this in our early phase design environment. Here, we're relying on structured data, visual feedback, and the ability to compare. It needs to be user-friendly for all architects, and we're hoping that these new workflows could avoid greenwashing, which happens in later phases. So what if we understood the impact of every project? Raise the bar a little, just to get started. So this connection of data could allow us to have impact as an active factor in the evaluation of our design alternatives. For example, the total CO2 emissions. And what if it was done even if it wasn't asked for, because it was so simple and convincing? We as architects could become the drivers for projects with a lower impact. We're so happy to have Norconsult on our team, who have developed an early phase connection to CO2 information, which is super easy and visual if we create the right filters, and one-click LCA for the later phases. What if we could enable lossless transformation and boundaryless collaboration? What if the project environment could be a smooth series of handshakes and high fives, that there was actually one source of truth? What if we could use technology to facilitate better digital cross-discipline collaboration? And I'm not talking about separate files as links, but the transformation of geometry and data. Importing and exporting would become obsolete, and all types of data could be harvested: documentation, imagery, status. It was really interesting hearing from Teo. I'm excited about the way Autodesk is going too. So yeah, the industry is headed in the right direction, but it still feels like the era of the workaround. And I encourage you to visit my colleague Christina's presentation tomorrow. She's going to talk about a project that advanced a little in collaboration across the globe. So some interesting examples of where the industry is headed in this direction and the lossless transformation of geometry. Here we've got Revit and Rhino operating nicely under Rhino Inside or McNeil Rhino. Architects can use whichever program that they need to achieve the desired design goals without compromising, and one software acts as a host. And this is my clever colleagues that are working on the Keflavik airport. A really smooth transition of geometry, and it works really nicely. Another interesting example is the interoperability of these four softwares in the Oslo Storligebaut project. They're using Revit as a native design environment, Stream BIM, which hosts the models and all the data. They're using Enscape for visualization, and on OpenSpace for the site photography, which is a really interesting program, actually. It takes imagery on site and connects it back to the BIM model. And it also uses AI to track the status of the building on site, which is really interesting. But there's still a level of fragmentation in these workflows, but it's much better than the norm. What if we could have all in the same system? Here, there's several exports that create this workflow. It's a really great project to take a look at, so I encourage you to take a picture of the QR code, and there's a nice video that sort of talks a little about their collaboration. So what if we could design our projects' futures from their pasts? One hot topic here is the digitalization of circularity. But what if we knew what was available, how much, when, where? We're much more likely to incorporate reuse elements in our projects. So if the system was a series of digital handshakes from start to finish, from the extraction to the reuse in the next project, this could enrich the stories of future designs, or it could be a catalyst for design concepts. A nice example is Empower, that works with the circularity or the digitalization of the circularity of plastic. They actually embed a story in the final products, and you can see where the plastic has come from. And I think that's really rich and really exciting. But if we're going to get this to work, we're relying on collaboration, knowledge sharing, and structured data through the whole value chain. What if we go one step further in our new builds for the digitalization of design for disassembly? Here, pulling inspiration from Europe, in our design, we could actually design our project's potential future. So the BIM model would create a standard for full lifecycle contracts, design to disassembly. This can give an embodied value to our clients, which we haven't had before, in the way that if we demolish or rehabilitate, those elements are essentially have no monetary value associated. But if we could sell in disassembly, that they actually retain a monetary value in the transformation of a project, we think that would be an incentive for a client to change the way they're thinking about their project. So, in conclusion, dreams aside for now, there is a lot of uncertainty and fragmentation in the industry and things that we can't control. But if we're going to reach our goals of working the way we believe we should by increasing circularity, lowering impact, and creating better performing, more informed cross-discipline designs, one thing we at Nordic Office of Architecture are sure of, and that's collaboration is the way forward. thanks for us.
Thank you. Thank you.